What's going on, everyone? Darkwater here, and welcome back to Hollywood Animal. Now, played this briefly on the channel before when it first came out. There have been a couple updates since then, and including some rebalancing, some new types of movies, both in genre as well as different features that we'll be able to select. If you're unfamiliar, this is a game where we're setting up a movie studio. So not just the studio, we're hiring the actors, the actresses, the directors. We're building out of the scripts and getting it in theaters and hopefully succeeding. For the record, the last movie that, or the last playthrough, ended up going bankrupt, but I had a successful movie in the theaters, but yet here we just ended up being bankrupt. But I'm definitely excited to jump back in and give this another go. I'm excited to see some of the new stuff that's in here. There is a disclaimer from the developers. I will have it at the beginning of each episode. But the disclaimer reads, and I quote, "Hollywood Animal covers a large part of the 20th century and portrays many features of the film industry and society as a whole. Among them, manifestations of discrimination, intolerance, and various forms of violence. We believe that to ignore and suppress these matters, no matter how terrible or unfair they may seem, would be to pretend they never existed." So, just a heads up. If you're triggered by anything like that, you may want to skip this series. It is, I think, it initially sets in the 1930s, so you can imagine what kind of societal events are happening that may impact gameplay. So we're going to jump into a new game. We will go ahead and play through the introduction, since this is a new playthrough. New Year, 1929. The hedonism of the 20s gives way to the Great Depression. The advent of talkies heralds the golden age of Hollywood, and life gives way to cinema. Film companies fiercely compete for market and influence. The strong devour the weak. You purchased a bankrupt studio to build a new business on its ruins. Here we are with our studio. We're going to go back to the Darkwater Studios. And did they give us any new logo? I don't want to go with the lion. That feels too MGM. Go with the owl. Because that's who we are. Get it? I'll stop now. Movies are not only made by directors and actors. Your film studio needs to employ people who quietly keep the machine running behind the scenes. What's their names? Well, I'm just going to stick with the names as they are. We've got good old Fred and our legal executive. We've got our PR exec, Anne. And we've got our financial exec, Johnny Payne. Along with the studio grounds, you received the footage from an unfinished film. Filming was complete but never edited. You'll need to complete the picture. What is this movie? There's Limpin' Luke, which is a action-adventure in the Wild West. We have The Blind Love, which is a romantic comedy set in a modern American town, and we've got The Messenger of Death. It's a detective thriller in a modern American city. We will definitely go with this. I am a big noir buff, so I greatly enjoy it. So there will be some rom-com, there will be westerns. I do enjoy myself a good western. The Man with No Name trilogy, love it. But let's go with The Messenger of Death. Alright, so there's events within the movie that we'll be going through. One gloomy morning, 7 Quentin bounty prisoners stunned the guards and snuck into a warehouse and escaped the prison hidden in a truck. Most of the fugitives were serving for theft and assault, but one of them was a true menace. Okay, thanks. So we can zoom in. Appreciate it. So there's different themes, there's different events that we will be able to put within the movie to try and boost the, I guess, overall rating of the movie and get people in there to actually enjoy it. That prisoner's name was Nick Crow, but all the papers called him the courier. He bought flowers to young women and then killed them. After 5 murders, the police captured the courier on a lucky break, but they were never able to determine his motives. The maniac's first victim was his own fiancée, but the choice of the rest of the girls seemed random. The next day, after the escape, the courier had already returned to his old ways. Dressed like a messenger, he delivered flowers to young Rita Peterson and then stabbed her to death. Bill Zeman, Rita's fiancé, returned from work that evening to find his beloved dead upon the floor, and his own desperate screams echoed through the neighborhood. So the courier is being played by good old Edward Peterson. The protagonist is a detective. Bill had a little faith in the local police, so he hired a young private investigator. I didn't say young, just a private investigator, Harry Burrow. Harry was a young man. Okay, I grabbed the line below. Harry was a young man, but he had sharp wits and a keen mind, enough to solve dozens of difficult cases and earn him a reputation as a genius. Rita and I just got engaged, Bill Zeman offered helplessly as Harry examined the crime scene. Police had already taken away the body, but the bouquet of roses still remained on the living room floor. Compliments of the courier. So, the detective is being played by Joe Duvall, and we'll be able to hire different actors, actresses, and their abilities change as they film more. Supporting characters, we've got the sidekick, good old Kathy Watts, played by Bessie Patterson. Harry looked around the house and talked to the neighbors, but he couldn't catch a lead. He decided to contact Kathy Watts, a journalist who covered the courier murders in detail. Kathy came right away, carrying a hefty file. She got right to the point. After the previous murders, I talked to Crow's friends and learned about a cheap old shack he'd acquired long ago. It's past the city limits, heading to the north. I told police about the place whenever they arrested Crow 2 years ago, but they just brushed me off. They figured the case was already closed. So these are all things that we will be selecting to try and build the best movie that we can. Themes and events, search for a killer. Harry and Kathy hit the road, but soon enough they found the right house. It was a broken down hut, obviously unsuitable to live in, but our heroes then saw a man at the front of the house locking the door. As Harry's car approached, the stranger took off running to the woods. Harry drew his gun and leapt from the car, but the man was gone. We scared him off. Let's have a look inside. With that, Harry kicked down the door. The shack was practically empty. A carved wooden box drew Harry and Kathy's attention. Inside were 6 diamond rings. Trophies. Rita Peterson was recently engaged, and the courier was engaged to his first victim. What about the rest of the girls? Harry asked. Kathy flipped through the documents in her folder. Interesting, all of the victims were soon getting married. Harry and Kathy trawled the recent newspapers looking for engagement announcements. 2 couples surfaced. Rita and Bill, a tragedy already familiar to us, and also a certain Sandy Wick and her fiancé, Tom. Harry and Kathy visited Sandy, who was happy to speak of yesterday's strange visitor. Yeah, some messenger came with a bouquet of roses, no card, no note, just a bouquet. I decided it must be some kind of mistake, and I didn't take the flowers. The messenger apologized and left. Harry immediately had a plan. He and Kathy hired a photographer, posed as an engaged couple, and they made sure to capture Harry's rented yellow brick house, the only one in the area. They advertised their engagement in the newspaper's morning edition and paid an extra $10 to have the photo printed beside the article. At noon the next day, there was a knock at the door. Kathy opened it, and there stood Nick Crow, the courier, smiling nervously in the doorway with a bouquet of roses. "This is from a secret admirer." Kathy feigned delight, took the bouquet, and ran to put it in a vase, leaving the door wide open. The courier stepped in the house. He pulled out his knife and raised it, and then felt a pistol at his temple. Harry's pistol. Then the finale. The antagonist gets punished. The courier grew wild. "You don't understand me. 2 years ago I was supposed to get married to my dear Rachel, and suddenly she starts receiving anonymous bouquets. I became jealous. But she just laughed and accepted all of the flowers, no matter how many or how secret they might be. 1 week later, I caught her in some jerk's car. These animals are all the same. First they hear it's only flowers, and then they'll break your heart. They deserve to be punished." The courier won't be delivering any more flowers. This time, he was sentenced to the electric chair. Harry added another win to his list of cases, and Kathy wrote a book about the courier, and she called it Messenger of Death. So that gives us our movie. So this gives us the commercial appeal. So the higher it is, the more it's going to succeed with the general audience. And then there's the artistic appeal. So that's more the sophisticated audience and critics, I believe. So the film's commercial and artistic appeal may change after each stage of development. Messenger of Death received these ratings after the script was completed. The screenwriter Maurice Fox loves to write detective stories. Thanks to his experience and talent, the investigation turned out to be suspenseful and intriguing. The story's elements came together to form a coherent whole. So here's our screenwriter. That shows his ability, his loyalty to the company, and then his happiness. He's not thrilled, and then he's got his experience. After pre-production, the film's ratings rose even higher. Casting famous actors is the surest way to boost commercial and artistic appeal. But now other factors are also influence the ratings, including quality scenery and modern equipment. Did we Weekend at Bernie's Joe Duvall here? Cause he's dead now. I assume he wasn't dead at the filming. After the production phase, the film's commercial appeal declined. The lead actor became seriously ill, he couldn't fight, and looked too thin. However, the film's artistic appeal grew. Joe Duvall tried to make up for his lack of physique and subtlety with his acting. Production problems were reflected in the lengthened schedule. Unfortunately, the actor passed away after finishing his work. Okay, so he wasn't dead on set. So again, you can see their employee ratings, the loyalty to the company, and their happiness. He's a happy dead guy. And then you also have your producer, the director, and the cinematographer. Their ratings all add in to the overall quality of the film. This is how much money they spent on the picture. It isn't the final budget, as the work on the film is not yet complete. This is how the creators of Messenger of Death imagine their potential audience. When shooting your own pictures, you'll identify your own audience. Messenger of Death is a subtle psychological thriller with a dark atmosphere and engaging dialogue. The film's audience are adult men and women, people who enjoy a serious tone and intricate plot. And now, we've got our studio grounds. Alright, time to send the footage to a post-production to complete the film. Alright, so assign employees to handle editing and scoring. At present, the studio's personnel are not the most qualified, but over time their skills will grow. So our editors, we've got Emma Berry and Oliver Grant. Oliver Grant is an alcoholic, which isn't great. Let's go with Emma. Emma's got a higher rating. Composer-wise, we've got good old Lee Woods, 2.8, not very loyal and not happy. We've got Luis Murphy, despises people with the wrong skin color. No. Lewis, no. No, not dealing with Lewis. We also need to figure out who's developing the film, recording the music, and sound effects. Outside contractors are always ready to help with this. Alright, so film development, we're going to go with the medium. It's a little bit pricier, but the shorter duration and better quality. Music recording, we'll go with medium as well. And sound recording, we'll go with the Sound Magicians. Twice as much, but better quality. Oh, I feel like this is new. So this is the rating limit for the script. So the limit is 7. Okay. So we'll start post-production. You've planned out post-production, but until you assigned a department head, you won't be able to get things moving. Okay, to hire new employees, go to the HR. We need an HR person. So we've got all selected, and they're all dudes. So this gives us the contract term and how much. I assume that's how much per month? Per year. Right. You speed up upgrades by 2% at no cost. You give upgrades at 4%. We're gonna hire you. Okay, we need to hire a post-production head, a distribution head, and a maintenance head. Alright, so maintenance. You're already at level 3, you're more expensive. We'll take the more experienced folks, I think. Utility cost. So we can build our own power plant, we can build our own water tower, that way we don't have to... That'll lower our water and power costs for the month. Let's slide over here to the distribution, so we can hire the head of distribution. Harold is very loyal and happy, he's a little bit cheaper. Influence points, that's right. You could use influence points to speed up upgrade up to a maximum of 10%. Or you can use money to speed up upgrades. So it's either influence or... Oh, you actually have both. I'm inclined to take you. We'll be able to make you happy over time. And then we've got cinemas that we can purchase. So we've currently have 91 cinemas of our own. But then there's independent cinemas that are out there. There's also competitor cinemas. So there's 5 different other movie companies, all vying for the same pool of actors, actresses, and whatnot. So we will have to deal with that. Shows our released films, which we don't have. Oh, that's research if I recall. And we need to get a department head for post-production. I think we're going to grab Marion. Okay, so that takes care of everybody. Post-production has begun. You can see how far along it is. That's great. Build a script department. So we need to build a script department. So here's some of the buildings we get to build as we go through and do more research. We'll be able to build those. So we're going to start construction on a script department. Oh, that's right. As you build more, you can expand within that radius, or within that like green circle. I guess we'll put you like here. So here's the builders. So 45 days for 160,000. We currently have 9.5 mil. Condition is 100%. We'll go with this. It's 72 days. It is a bit, but I want the good condition. You can speed or slow down the passage of time. Thanks. We can zoom in a little bit and take a little look here. Headquarters. I'm guessing we can't do any research yet. This shows us competitors, what they've done. So they released Asphalt Skin. So this gives you the script writing timeline, the filming timeline, the production timeline. Bobby Martin, star of Shining Blade and $1 Million Men, appeared on the Western Wave radio show for an interview. Some actor statements are being called scandalous. Listen, I don't make up the ratings. You've seen it for yourself, every poll. Joe Duvall in first place. I'm in second place. And it's been like that for years. Now Duvall's dead, and I'm the one on top. What should I be upset about? Am I saying he's happy he's dead? No, but I'm not sad either. I'm number one now. Why should I be sad about that? I assume you were on our staff. Apparently it's a very blustery couple weeks, apparently. Good old Johnny Payne. Got divorced a couple years ago. I figured out that I was out of chances until I met Gilda. I can read. We spent all of our time together. We could barely get enough of each other. It's always like that at the beginning. We've been together for a year now. We're like a drug to each other. I feel guilty even mentioning it. But when Gilda visits me at work, I absolutely cannot concentrate. She enraptures me. Yesterday, I nearly made a mistake in the paperwork that could have cost the studio a lot of money. Please do me a favor. Help me fight this addiction. Let's introduce some kind of access control so Gilda can't just walk into my office. Yes, my heart will be broken, but I'd hate for your business to and my career to be ruined. Well, that's useful. We'll start controlling access. Johnny Payne's loyalty will increase by 10. His happiness will decrease by 10. Well, great. 3 days to 1. Okay, let's slow things down. So we spent 36,000 at that stage. Total is up to just under 36,000 at that stage. Total is up to just under 500,000, and quality is dropping further. But not significantly. Studio still has low-level employees and technology, yeah. But they are gaining some experience. The director's 7.8. Okay. Select a movie poster. I like this one. Okay, now we need to fit it within the calendar, so it shows all of the releases for everybody else, so you can figure out what might be the best place to put it. So we'll go ahead and slot you in there. Apparently, you don't just own the studio, you own a 91 cinemas. You can run the films that in the cinemas that you own for free, but that's not going to be a wide enough audience. So over here we've got, okay, studio's previous owner already arranged and paid for the film's rental costs the first week. The film scheduled to be shown in 7,185 times. Some 3,185 of those screenings will take place in our own cinema, leaving 4,000 across other cinemas. Next time you'll have to plan for this and pay for the rental cost yourself. This shows the different weeks. Once they expire, you can extend, or if you think the film can still make a profit. They'll start printing the film tomorrow, ready for distribution in 5 weeks. Distribution goes out all at once they've finished printing. And printing speed and cost vary by the contractors, yes. Marketing is something else. So typically a film begins promotions a few weeks before the premiere, so the advertising has time to gain momentum. The studio's previous owners already arranged the advertising campaign, but you'll decide in the future, yes. And then we can choose who the advertising is being directed at. Already paid for it. That's fine. So we're going to go for adults, obviously. We probably don't need to run advertising like 4 weeks, 5 weeks after the film's done. Now we just need to get this guy built. You are handling the distribution among all of the different cinemas. You ask me, Messenger of Death is a surefire hit, a farewell film by a young star. The story has soul, but all go to waste unless it's released at the right moment. The studio's former owners were mindful of these things. They scheduled the production carefully and chose a good window for releasing the film, right when the public would be hungry and had practically no competition. But when the old studio closed its doors, the parasites from Margins Pictures decided Messenger of Death would never see the light of day. I don't know who was pulling their strings, but they convinced all the theater owners to give them our slots. The film that they're releasing instead doesn't even have a title yet. But you know what kind of slop they serve their audience. Probably something like Yesterday's Fart or Wet Armpits. Truth is on our side. We have all the documents, but a court battle would be long and pointless. We'll miss the moment, and no compensation will cover that. Instead, I suggest we use our connections and our influence to remind theater owners that our agreements have to be honored. Let them know that a deal is a deal. So we've got our influence points up top here, and we've got our reputation up here as well. We are still 31 days out for our script department. I would really like to get another script going. But it's 34 more days until Messenger of Death is done. Can I build anything else? Not yet. Okay. What's up, Andrew? Construction of the script department is going according to plan, but there's a little snag. The architects envisioned a large red leaf maple should be the central decorative element. The contractor found a suitable tree on a reserve on the border between Ontario and Minnesota. They've already agreed on a price and transportation, but the inspector who issues the permit is playing coy. You can't say how much longer the paper will take. Maybe a week or two. You know, as well as I do, sometimes you need to grease the gears. $200 and the tree will be on the road. Yeah. $200. When an issue... Oh, yeah. We'll bribe people as we need to. Last month we spent $96,000 on employees and $2,000 on utilities. But hey, we got our blasted tree and it's completed. Okay, we need a head for the scripting department. Thomas Howell is he's a loyal cat. Timothy Duncan's not loyal, not happy. We'll grab Timothy for now. Okay. I'm gonna lean into the detective, I think. We'll go with adventure and action. I think those are gonna be the three. Or do we want thriller instead? Let's go thriller. Yeah, we'll go with that. Screenwriters remaining from the studio staff. We'll keep all three of you guys. You guys seem okay. So now we gotta get a new script going. Script department worked up several ideas. We'll take a look and see what your ideas are. You want an action movie in an American city featuring a cop, or a romance in the Wild West with a working man? We'll go with the action movie. Bernard is racist. You're a gambler. And you're lazy. Fantastic. We'll have you start writing. Bernard, we are not tolerating the racial nonsense in this studio. To continue to develop your film studio, you can pick an upgrade for the department. Okay. Yes. No matter who's working in the script department, nobody knows better what your film needs to be successful. With this upgrade, you'll be able to write your own stories. Alright, so some improvements take a while. Department heads, in time, you'll learn to speed up. So we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and upgrade. But there's other things. There are story ideas that last for... Whoa, that zooms way the heck out. Last for 6 months. There are rolling edits, 15% faster. There's freelance writer office. So there's a bunch of stuff. The extra 25 XP would definitely be nice. Can I write... Walter, go ahead and start writing that one too. We'll see what scripts are okay here. We need to build a production department and a pre-production department. Let's pause for a second, because... So, a pre-production, we can handpick the actors, directors, select the sets, the tech, and more. Oh, you're massive. Uh, 36 days. We'll take that. I've got a bad feeling I am overspending. Production, we can make movies. Go ahead and run you there. 300E. I'm gonna hate this. This is gonna be a bad idea. No, we'll go with the middle of the road. Concerned about money. I'm a little I'm a little gun shy from the last one. We've got other things that we can build. We've got a security department that we can build. There's not a good place for security. I'll put you back here. What else can we build? Engineering and the producer's office. Go ahead and... Is there... We'll drop engineering in here. Yeah, we are spending a whole bunch of cash right now. And the producer's office, I guess we'll drop you in over here. We'll go ahead and do that. Now, we can look at upgrades for other departments. So for the distribution, we've got theater management, which allows us to buy and sell theaters. We've got analytics and statistics, where we can gather information on our audience. There's the printing office, so we can print duplicates on our own. And there's marketing and outreach, which gives us another building, and we'll be able to handle marketing and outreach on our own. So there is more going off the chain, the trees here as well. I don't honestly know what's going to be the best one. I'm inclined to go with the marketing department. It is 200 days. You? There's the water tower, the power plant, there's the medium landscaping, that is 400 days. There's the repair crew, which is 500 days. We've got nothing we can... Oh, we do. We can go up 2%. Water tower is 1,000, and the power plant is 1,000. Let's go with the landscaping, because why not? I guess we'll upgrade an additional 2%. You. There's services, so we can give our employees gifts, services, and entertainment. And there's ethnic composition, so we can maintain the ethnic composition of the studio staff. That allows us to hire illegals as well as cheap illegals and mothball buildings as we need to. Services gives us, looks like, aesthetic staff, enthusiastic newbies. So maybe we'll go with services. That's only 96 days. As for the PR department, we've got charity, which allows us to build some reputation points. We can double reputation points for profitable films. Overall speed 3%. We've got the generate IP or reputation instead of researching improvements. So we can have departments actually generating on its own. You're 450 days. Let's go ahead and upgrade you. As for the financial department, we will go ahead and upgrade for the loan. And the legal department, because there's a high likelihood we're going to get sued, we'll go ahead and do the mid-level and get that one squared away. Everybody else solid? Everybody's doing something? Looks like it. You. We've got the concert hall, which will allow us to get an orchestra in there. We've got professional post-production facilities. So they receive twice as much experience. There's the sound studio and the film lab. So that develops the film on the studio grounds. So all of these three we're going to end up using. We'll go ahead and do this one. You know what, since we're building everything right now, let's go ahead and just hang on to our cash. And that rolls through everything. So we've got everybody upgraded, we've got a bunch of buildings being built, we've got 2 scripts being written, you can wash my floors, and steel jaw. So Joe Duvall in the Messenger of Death, we can add a tagline. Knock knock. And we will release it. Oh, there we go. All right, so Kinomark's rating system measures the audience reviews on the day of the premiere. So you can see what kind of quality you got here. Good old Earl McKinley. An exciting detective story whose title mirrors the tragic fate of the film stars. Could this be more than just a coincidence? Jeanette, on the other hand, thinks you might find it difficult to sit through this brutal, chilling film, but Joe Duvall's triumphant role rewards the effort. His death is a tragedy to every woman. So we're getting a little bit of experience from everybody here. And we're spending more money. So it's in the theaters now, and we are making some cash. You're not going to show me just yet. Alright, so we'll kind of speed things along here and see what we're making on our movie here. Good old Roy Spencer. I borrowed a little bit of money from people. They seem like good guys, honest eyes. I'm a great judge of people, but some annoying jerk is following me around demanding I pay off the debt. I'd return the whole amount today, but I need a little time to recoup. You know what they say, you might be strong, but the cards are always stronger. That's all nonsense. By the way, I'll show you those cards who's boss. Can you let me go a couple months? Sure, we're not doing anything else right now, Spence. So we've made over $1 million on the first 3 weeks. It's currently in week 4. All right. So the first 4 weeks were successful. So the first week, 90% ad effect, 99% audience, ranked number 1 in week 2. But it had a 12% decline. We declined down to 10 by another 10% down to 66. Let's go ahead and extend it since we're not doing anything else. Okay, construction is completed on the pre-production. We can handpick actors and directors, select sets and technology and more. We'll go ahead and hire Timothy? No. We'll get Ronnie here. Oh, no. Let's hire Wallace. The studio's remaining actors after change, we'll keep them as they are. These actors remained as well. We'll keep them. These are the directors that remain. We'll keep them as they are. We'll go ahead and look at upgrading pre-production. We got a casting office, scouting, sets and props, and tech support. You are 70 days. We'll go ahead and knock you out. We've got other buildings about to get wrapped up. What's up, Lydia? The legendary Lydia Globe is back in the saddle, nearly. Yeah. Honey, I know you were expecting to start a film right away, but getting used to talking is taking longer than I expected. You got to understand, a bird that's used to flying in the clouds can't just dive down to the bottom of the ocean without a little preparation first. I'm doing a speech exercises with the masters of the stage to stretch out my vocal cords, drinking egg cocktails, getting that velvety voice in the morning. You can already notice the difference. That's right, honey. So please, I'm begging you, I'm really begging you, give me 3 more months off. You're a perfectionist. You know what? I'll give you the 3 months. Because we're still like a month out writing a script. Alright, so we got our production office. Head of production. Leaning towards Jeremy. Although Jesse, we can go up to 20%. You're happy, but you're not loyal. It's only a 3-year contract. Let's go with Jesse. We'll immediately come in and get some research started. So there's production support, opens a production support office, which makes shooting on location better. We've got the production line office, which gives control over the film schedule, and the sound stage 2. Let's get the sound stage going. We could actually up to 20%. That's 240 days. Let's just stick with where we're currently at. So, still concerned about money. We got some other buildings being built. We're in week 6 of Messenger of Death. We've got still another month and a half on the 2 screenplays. So I think this is going to be a good place to leave the first episode. Hopefully you guys are excited and enjoying the beginning of our movie studio. We will definitely get some scripts going and some more movie production in the next episode. But thank you all for watching. I appreciate you guys for being here, and I look forward to seeing you guys again in Hollywood Animal. And as always, hope you guys have yourselves a great day.